There is a $1 spray sitting on the bottom shelf of every auto parts store in America that does what a $350 fuel injector cleaning service promises. It dissolves carbon deposits, varnish, and gum buildup from the inside out. No mechanic, no diagnostic machine, no fuel rail pressure test. A retired diesel mechanic named Frank Coletti in Tucson, Arizona, used this exact method on his daughter's 2009 Honda Civic that was misfiring, surging at idle and averaging 22 miles per gallon on a car rated for 36 miles per gallon. He backflushed all 4 injectors in his garage with a 9-volt battery, a medical syringe, and a $1.19 can of carburetor cleaner. That was 4 years ago. The car now averages 35.8 miles per gallon. It has not misfired once. The automotive service industry generates over $300 billion a year in the United States alone. Fuel system services, injector cleaning, throttle body cleaning, and fuel system flushes account for an estimated $9 billion of that revenue. A $1.19 can of solvent that eliminates their second most profitable upsell cannot be allowed to exist in public knowledge. They did not stop teaching this technique because it failed. They stopped because it worked too well. Welcome to We Are Auto Nerds. If you are not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell. This is where we tear apart the repair industry's most profitable lies and hand the tools back to you. In 1957, a chemical engineer named Harold Davenport was working at a small carburetor remanufacturing shop in Indianapolis. His job was not building new carburetors, his job was saving destroyed ones. Carburetors returned from agricultural equipment, combines, grain trucks, and machines that sat idle for months between seasons, arrived clogged with oxidized fuel residue so thick it sealed the jets completely shut. Davenport discovered that a specific acetone-based solvent, pressurized through the jets in reverse direction, dissolved varnish deposits that no amount of soaking could touch. He called it back pressure solvent flushing. The principle was simple. Fuel injectors, like carburetor jets, have microscopic orifices designed to atomize fuel into a fine mist. Carbon and varnish deposits narrow those orifices over thousands of combustion cycles. The fuel stops misting and starts dribbling. Think of it like arterial plaque narrowing a blood vessel. The blood still flows, but the pressure changes, the efficiency collapses, and the entire system compensates in ways that compound damage downstream. Davenport's reverse flush forced solvent backward through those channels under pressure, dissolving buildup from the exit side where deposits were thickest. He restored carburetors that every other shop in Indiana had written off as scrap. But Davenport was not working for the automotive service industry. He was working for agricultural equipment salvagers. Agricultural salvage operates on a fundamentally different economic model. Salvagers want to restore because replacement costs are catastrophic. When the modern automotive service industry standardized fuel injection across passenger vehicles in the late 1980s, the repair approach went in a completely different direction. Bosch and Delphi chose sealed, non-serviceable injector designs not because they were better for the consumer, but because they created a dependency on dealer-level diagnostic equipment. They did not see carbon fouling as a flaw, they saw it as a feature. Stay with me, because what the fuel system service industry did to suppress this knowledge is where the real money trail starts. By 2003, the automotive repair industry had standardized a fuel injector cleaning process that has barely changed in over 20 years. Step 1. Connect a pressurized canister of proprietary cleaning solvent to the fuel rail, bypassing the vehicle's fuel pump. Step 2. Disable the fuel pump relay. Step 3. Run the engine on the cleaning solvent for 15 to 20 minutes. Step 4. Reconnect the fuel system and run a diagnostic scan. That process takes between 30 minutes and 1.5 labor hours. The average cost today ranges between $150 and $350 for a standard fuel injector cleaning service at a certified shop. Some European vehicles can run $500 or more at dealerships. Meanwhile, the principle that Harold Davenport discovered in 1957 still works perfectly on modern port and direct injection fuel injectors. The active compound behind this restoration is acetone combined with toluene and methanol, the three primary solvents in any standard carburetor cleaner spray. When you force the solvent backward through a fuel injector under pressure, the acetone dissolves the oxidized fuel varnish that has hardened inside the pineal orifice. The toluene breaks down heavier carbon deposits that acetone alone cannot penetrate. The methanol acts as a carrier that evaporates cleanly, leaving zero residue inside the injector body. It does not coat the injector like fuel additives do. It does not mask the restriction like octane boosters do. It dissolves the obstruction completely, restoring the original spray pattern permanently. If you have made it this far, you already understand more about fuel injector chemistry than 99% of car owners in America. And that is exactly what the service industry is terrified of. An informed customer is a customer who never pays $350 for a 20-minute solvent flush again. Subscribe and share this with every single person you know who has been quoted hundreds of dollars for a fuel system service they could handle in their own garage for $1.19. A study published in the Journal of the Society of Automotive Engineers in 2011 tested back flush solvent cleaning against 3 commercial on-car injector cleaning systems. Researchers at the University of Michigan's Automotive Research Center removed injectors from 40 vehicles with over 80,000 miles each, and they tested spray pattern uniformity before and after treatment. The backflush method using standard carburetor cleaner restored 94% of original spray pattern uniformity. The best commercial on-car system restored 61%. The worst restored 38%. The researchers concluded that direct reverse pressure solvent application represented a fundamentally superior cleaning methodology for port fuel injectors. That study was published in a peer-reviewed journal and has been cited more than 70 times. It was completely and utterly ignored by every major quick lube chain in North America. So why is this not common knowledge? The answer is hiding in plain sight inside the revenue reports. Jiffy Lube operates over 2,000 locations across the United States, processing millions of vehicles per year. The automotive maintenance and repair industry generated over $300 billion in total revenue in 2024. Industry analysts estimate that 15 to 20% of independent shop revenue comes from fuel system and intake cleaning services. That means roughly $8 to $12 billion per year flows through shop doors for a problem that a $1.19 can of carburetor cleaner solves permanently. You cannot patent a solvent formulation that has been public domain since 1957. You cannot create a subscription model around a technique the customer only needs to perform every 50,000 miles. You cannot generate repeat service visits when the customer owns a 9-volt battery and a $5 syringe. You cannot build a franchise empire on a solution that eliminates the upsell. The fuel system additives currently sold at every auto parts store in America are mostly diluted polyethylamine in a carrier of petroleum naphtha. They work by slowly dissolving small amounts of deposit over hundreds of miles of driving. The result feels slightly smoother for about 2 tanks of gas. Then the deposits rebuild because the additive concentration is deliberately too low to fully clean the injector. The customer watches their mileage drop again and reaches the obvious conclusion that fuel injector cleaning simply requires a professional. That conclusion drives them directly to the service counter every single time. This is not an accident. This is a designed failure loop, engineered into the product formulation itself. Now here's exactly what to do with this knowledge. Go to any auto parts store, AutoZone, O'Reilly, Advance Auto, and walk to the carburetor cleaner aisle. Look for any standard aerosol carburetor and choke cleaner. Read the label and confirm the active ingredients include acetone, toluene, or methanol. Avoid any product that lists silicone or petroleum distillates as primary ingredients. The can should cost between $1.19 and $3.49. Next, you need a 9-volt battery, 2 short lengths of wire with alligator clips, a small rubber hose adapter that fits your injector inlet, and a 20 milliliter medical syringe. Remove the fuel injectors from the fuel rail. This varies by vehicle, but on most 4-cylinder engines, it requires removing the intake manifold bolts and lifting the rail with injectors attached, then pulling each injector free. Connect the 9-volt battery leads to the 2 electrical terminals on the injector. This opens the pintle valve. Attach the rubber hose to the inlet side of the injector. Fill the syringe with carburetor cleaner and connect it to the hose. Press the plunger firmly and watch the spray pattern from the tip. A clogged injector will dribble or spray unevenly. Flush 3 to 4 syringes of solvent through each injector while the battery holds the valve open. The critical step that separates amateur from permanent results is this. After flushing, disconnect the battery, let the injector sit for 10 minutes, reconnect the battery, and flush 2 more syringes. That second flush dissolves the deposits the first pass loosened, but did not fully remove. Watch the spray pattern transform from an uneven dribble into a perfect cone of atomized mist. Total cost is under $5 for all 4 injectors. Total time is 90 minutes. A shop charges $150 to $350 for an inferior result. A man named David Liang in Portland, Oregon performed this on his 2011 Subaru Outback with 127,000 miles last spring. His fuel economy jumped from 24.1 to 29.7 miles per gallon and has not dropped since. A $1 can of solvent, a 9-volt battery, 90 minutes in your garage. That is what stands between you and the fuel economy your car was designed to deliver. This knowledge is not lost. It was deliberately buried by an industry that profits every single time you believe your engine needs professional intervention. Buried knowledge does not disappear. It waits. If this video cracks something open for you, subscribe and share it with every car owner you know who has watched their gas mileage drop and been told the only fix costs hundreds of dollars. Every like and every share preserves what the service industry tried to erase from public knowledge. The next video drops soon, and what is inside will make this one look like a warm-up.